Welcome to 22 News at 5. I'm Alicia Rodriguez. The museum at Old Sturbridge Village will honor former NBC News anchor Tom Brokaw tonight. 22 News anchor Barry Krieger is live in Sturbridge with Tom Brokaw.
And that I am. Thank you very much, Alicia. Tom Brokaw is being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from Old Sturbridge Village in connection with documentary filmmaker and Hampshire College graduate Ken Burns, I might add. Tom, congratulations, but I guess this must be getting to be old hat for you. You get Lifetime Achievement Awards almost all the time.
Well, you know, it's always very flattering, and my wife often says to me as I leave for these kinds of occasions, one of these days they're going to catch on to you, Tom. So, Ken and I are old friends. I so admire the work that he does. We've talked a lot about common interest over the years. He's got a film out now, obviously, on the Depression era. I came out of that generation that preceded me. World War II he did, and I was worried when he decided to do it that maybe we had kind of exhausted the subject, but World War II just keeps on giving in terms of the lessons and the stories that come along. And then he's done this remarkable story, obviously, on the Central Park jogger case, going back and reopening a case that still is to be resolved in the minds of a lot of New Yorkers.
He and you are history-oriented, and we're making history all the time. Journalism covers history as it happens. Are you satisfied with the direction that television journalism has gone, both nationally and locally?
Well, you know, it's better than people realize. I often surprise audiences by saying you can no longer be a couch potato. You have to be more proactive as a viewer now. The screen is a lot more crowded. The small screen, the computer, is a lot more crowded, but it gives you access with a keystroke to information you never could have gotten not that many years ago. Yeah. You know, when I was growing up in the Midwest, I had a little black and white screen in our living room and really effectively two networks to choose from, CBS and NBC. ABC was not yet a player. Now, if I were living back in that same small town, I could get up in the morning and read the Financial Times of London, dispatches from the Middle East, English language newspapers from Beijing, still check on my basketball scores and find out that I didn't do as well the night before as I remembered. So you really just have to be much more engaged as a news consumer. And if you are, you can be really well informed. There's a lot of chatter. There's no question about that. But before television, it became a lot of cable. We had tabloid newspapers. You know, there'd be 5 or 6 editions on the streets of Boston and New York and Hartford, Connecticut, big screaming headlines. The gossip would get a lot of the attention. That's the stuff of journalism.
Well, now it's what's happening now. And I got to give a little credit to Brian Reardon, the man who's running the camera over there. He was just a few feet away when that gas explosion happened Friday night in Springfield and picked himself up. And then we did live reporting for the next hour, let people know what was going on. And kind of apologize. We preempted nightly news for that.
Well, no, you shouldn't, because that's what television does best. It transmits the experience. We just had that experience in New York with Sandy. I mean, television was a lifeline for all of the viewers in the greater New York and New England area. They could find out what services were going to be closed down, what was available, the storm was coming, how you should prepare for it. So there's always going to be a place for that, and that's when we're at our very best. When people ask me about the 2 biggest stories of my lifetime, I say 9/11. Nothing will ever change for me going through that week. That was completely unexpected. America was attacked. We went to war. We didn't know what was going to happen next. And people around the country say to me, I couldn't leave you. I'd sit there and watch you on television all the time. Before that, the biggest event of my lifetime was the dissolution of the Soviet Empire. You and I talked earlier about being in Red Square. You know, the end of communism in the Soviet Union and in the Soviet Empire is an extraordinary event. And we got to know Gorbachev because of television. We got to see the freedom as it occurred in Poland with Lech Wałęsa. We saw the Czech Revolution. So these are things to savor and to be proud of.
You were a witness to history, Tom Brokaw.
Well, I have been. I've been very, very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time, by and large. And, you know, I've still not lost my appetite for it.
All right. We are holding up the press briefing here. Tom Brokaw, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Great to be here.
All right. We're going to hear a little bit more from Tom in the 6 o'clock half hour of 22 News. For now, I'm Barry Krieger, live in Sturbridge, 22 News.